Hi, I'm Michelle Shepard, registered dietitian and owner of West Coast Nutrition, and I'm here to tell you about 4 ways to raise your resting metabolic rate if it's running a little bit low. The first way is more sleep. And this one I feel like almost everyone needs, especially as busy adults, especially if you're a parent. And I want to put it out there that all the goal is getting up above 7 hours of sleep. That's what I work on in my group program. Get as much as you can. If you've got a new baby at home, you might not want to work on this at all. If you've got young kids, it might be trading off on you guys sleeping in every other Saturday, each week. So looking for ways to increase sleep will increase metabolic rate over time and make weight loss a lot easier. It also affects things like insulin sensitivity, mood, and hunger hormones. So this is not one you want to ignore. It has been life-changing and results-getting for a handful of clients who just struggle despite doing really well with food. So aiming for 7+ hours of sleep if you can, or just 20 minutes more a night if that's all you can manage right now. The second way we increase metabolic rate is protein. So muscle mass is more metabolically active than a lot of our other tissues, including fat mass. And muscle mass decreases if we are not active. It decreases as we get older. And for women, it also decreases as estrogen starts to decline and go up and down in perimenopause. And remember, perimenopause is like a 10-year thing for many women. It's not just 1 or 2 years. So if you are getting to that point where you think you might be entering perimenopause, making sure you have enough protein to protect the muscle mass you have so it's not burned for fuel is really important. If you have a weight loss goal, you're aiming for 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, or if you work in pounds, that is 0.7 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Aim to get that spread out throughout the day in kind of 30 to 45 gram bouts every day in order to protect that muscle. And if you're going more than, say, 6 hours without eating, you're likely going to be breaking down some of your muscle. So make sure you are really spreading it out and you're also eating regularly-ish. This is part of the reason I'm not a fan of, maybe 1 or 2 meals a day for weight loss. Although you might cut calories, you're also going to lose muscle mass over time. That's going to slow your metabolic rate and make that rebound weight gain happen later down the road. The third thing is related to that, and that is incorporating strength or resistance training. So remember, muscle is really important. It's much more metabolically active. And if the goal is to lose body fat and not have to eat so little, having more muscle mass on your frame is going to make that easier for you by raising your resting metabolic rate. You want to focus on things like strength training. That might even be body weight resistance if that's all you're starting with. It might be things like bands or weights or kettlebells or starting with a trainer. But this is really important, particularly for women who lose muscle more quickly, especially as the estrogen goes down. So start incorporating that 2 or 3 times a week as early as you can and keep it up to save that muscle mass, really protect it, and to grow it, to really make weight loss a heck of a lot easier. This is one that really compounds over time. So you're going to want to be consistent with it for a few months to see that result of getting weight loss without having to eat so little food. And the last one does have to do with food, but I promise you it's not about eating less. And the fourth reason is to eat above that resting metabolic rate. So if you have been dieting for a long time, you may have actually reduced your metabolic rate through being over restrictive. For some of my Weight Watchers clients, some of my clients who've been tracking on apps for a long time, they've been eating little amounts of food, 1,200, 1,300, 1,000 calories. Their bodies will adapt to that reduction in calories because it's so significant from what they need in order to preserve your breathing and your muscle and like your heart and all of those things. That's a normal evolutionary adaptation. What happens is you have to eat less and less to continue to lose weight, or you start to actually regain weight eating normal amounts of food because that resting metabolic rate has gone down. Figure out what your resting metabolic rate is. I like to use the Mifflin-St. Jeor equation, and make sure you're eating above that every day. If you're not sure if this is a problem for you or not, work with someone like me or another dietitian who is experienced in weight loss and metabolic rate to figure out if this eating more is something you need or whether you might be kind of underestimating what you're getting in. This is a really important one. So even if it feels a little anxiety provoking, it's important you get enough food to restore that metabolic rate, which if long-term weight loss is your goal, is super important. No one can eat teeny tiny amounts of food for more than a few months at a time. We want you to be able to enjoy food, to have space to go out, to have some room for treats, and still get to a place where you feel kick butt in your body. I hope this is helpful. As usual, reply if you're on the email or comment below on YouTube. Let me know how you feel about metabolic rate or if you have any questions.